because if this little corner of the internet doesn't figure out how to continue to talk to the village, we will in some ways suffer the fate of the church that Scott talked about at the beginning of this.
Were my thoughts escaping? For this Ken Wilber fella. You see, that's the lobster monkey thing, ladies and gentlemen. For any of those of you not following, indicates that it's a skill hierarchy. Lobsters for the hierarchy, monkey for the skill. You can be a Discord lobster monkey, a streaming lobster monkey for the hierarchy, monkey for the skill. You can be a Discord lobster monkey, a streaming lobster monkey. If it's a skill and you're somewhere on a hierarchy of competence at it, use a lobster monkey, baby. Okay, so your first clue is that the Aboriginals called this the Long Dream. And I mentioned that Ken Wilber fella because he's getting old as crap and decrepit. And somebody asked, what do you think will happen when you die? And he said the most beautiful of things. I think I'll keep dreaming. So if this reality is a place held together by the collaborative oppositional processes of the dream catcher, then mind control becomes terribly important because of the Deadlands effect. Dreamers in the dream catcher, then the more scared we can make everybody, the more control and power we have to manifest things in this realm according to our will.
And joy and pain are kind of like kissing cousins. Like, you can't really understand joy unless you've suffered. Marriage is a kind of crucible. It's kind of like a way that the way that I've described it in the past is like it's this garden where mercy can grow. Like, I think when we are invited outside of the painting to see things the way that he sees them, we'll be able to praise him because we can see all the shadows that made the work more beautiful.
Ooh, I just took part in American Mass, man, and it was kind of wild, you know. And as a result, here is the horrible thing you're staring into, is the Does It Yeti. Lovers of wisdom, my dear, natural one. Bonuses do not apply to natural ones. And the Anna part means actually not alone. An assassination attempt is so much easier if you're there with me. Why don't you give it a shot at Anachino 23? Stay tuned for more information. It's a thing. It's happening. It's as real as I've ever manifested in your presence before. For those of you who call it IRL, as if all the time you spend staring in the screen is something else. It's heart saving throws. Action on the heart. Like, hey, bro, you know that flag of your nation? Is it still waving over this? All this you see around you, is it waving over that? That old tweet, like, does it yet, friend? And like, what the little headline there is, right? And like that, it so easily could be the sleeper cell activation code, right? Does it yet? You know, don't feed your chickens what they sell you anymore. That was a report I got from another fella who gave me the name of a place to go. Talking to folk, and somebody comes and gets me for the national anthem, and everybody in the living room is doing this, is, you know, riding the wave, participating in the mass. And so I hop on board, and like this one guy is us all like in communion with the moment of the singing of our national anthem. It's not nation worship, it's respect for this blood sacrifice of every ancestor that brought you here. Yes, this is the communitas stream. Once upon a time, Mark Lefebvre said, "Hey, I want to be on your channel, man. I'll tell people about communities." I was like, "Oh, well. By the fraternal regiment embodying narcissistic sociopathy, in order for us to seize the crown of brotherhood, we have to do shit like that."
And this is my channel. What I'm trying to do is to help you.
But it's not. See, look, we're being boarded. Our ship is being boarded by an enemy pirate. Look here.
The way Neoplatonism, or at least alleged Neoplatonism, seems to talk about these things is in terms of something that you yourself can do as a state that you can acquire through practice.
For those of you who know what's going on, you have news that we have received an indigo beholder die, which is an option for those of you who are present. If you have a role on the Discord that's called the Resonant, you can use an indigo instead of the standard choices of survival, social, wisdom, or heart. That activates the beholder. If you're deep enough, you know.
It's high numbers are good, low numbers are bad, and that's your protection against the mind control. Now, it's one of the things that John Vervaeke sort of talked about, but never really gave any direction as to, right? Say things like, oh, communitas, right? Which is this clever way of saying community for some reason. And for example, I recently bought a garden cart that dumps, so you can load it up with a bunch of, in my case, sand and clay, which is what I need for my driveway. And, you can dump it out, and it's wonderful. And in the instructions, it actually says, join our community. And I'm like, there isn't a community of people who own Gorilla Carts, which is the manufacturer name. That's not a way to build a community. It won't work. People using them.
Garden, why don't we just do a commercial on Mark? A garden what?
A garden cart.
Garden heart.
Good. Control your echo. Always control your echo.
Buddy. Hey, Rascal, what's up? Did you know you can get a Rascal baseball sleeve shirt, Mark? How would you summarize that?
I would say that a proper community has to be built around a shared goal or telos, right? A shared aim that they have in common that they want to enact, and the people in that community have to be submitted to that aim above all else. Otherwise, they won't have something that they can cooperate with together. Right?
So there's not a precise level of commitment to the shared aim of the community that must be maintained in order for the community to maintain integrity. What determines the range of the non-precise value?
But you're trying to measure something that can't be measured, and also
I'm trying to grok of the boundaries of a Venn.
Oh, that's fine, but there's no Venn diagram for community. But
well, let's draw one, mother.
No, there's no algorithm for this stuff. This is
like you speak in patterns, and I'm trying to navigate them.
Or the level of commitment that you need is submission to the aim. Like, you have to be interested in being in that community.
Right, but my point is like, for a community to actually maintain integrity, the submission to the aim has to be of men of a certain level of character, and the submission has to be not like you submit to the aim because you believe in the aim that much.
No, all communities have an amount of people that are damaging to them, and they accept that, or they throw those people out. And
let's bring in the crowd. Let's bring in the crowd.
Did you read the dust up on the Discord server, on the Awakening server? That's a good example of intolerance.
This little corner probably won't get a Fed until PVK hits 50K. What do you think?
I don't think the Feds care two rats' asses about anything anybody's doing. But
I recall every now and then I'll pop in to see what's going on Jacob's channel when it's a stream. And I popped in for a minute. And at that minute, you jumped on and said, something along the lines of there are bad faith actors in this community spreading rumors and sowing blah, blah, or something. I don't remember. I didn't bother to find the quote, but would you explain? Would you go back over what you said and why you said it for me?
Sure. Well, and again, this gets back into the awakening server, right? I mean, some people are out for destruction, and they don't care what they destroy. They just like the power because they are playing a power game. So it's not like.
And
power
why did it? What prompted?
That's all. I just, our big problem in the world today is discernment. People are not discerning because they've spent so long trying not to judge that they've lost discernment. So now they can't tell.
I know you're talking about community, about things, discernment, and things that should be obvious that sometimes isn't obvious for some reason. And I can kind of sympathize with that. I'm like, I'm not sure why this is not obvious to you, but okay.
Yeah, the assumption that everybody on BOM is there for the same reason and that they're all good actors and they all actually want to build community is just observably false. And some of them are bad actors.
Observe the hermeneutics of suspicion, which is best remembered by the way Herman looks at you after you neuter him. He's very suspicious of you from ever on. Would dictate that from the other hermeneutic, that you going on Jacob's channel saying there are bad actors spreading rumors and stuff would be playing, like, serving that.
It's not a helpful way to think about the world. I mean, you can think about the world that way if you want, but that's not what I was doing.
Oh, Chad.
Chad.
Glasses when your back was turned. Ha ha, you fool! You fell victim to one of the classic blunders. The most famous is never get involved in a land war in Asia, but only slightly less well known is this: never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
I don't know what incident you're talking about, because on the Awakening they brought up 17,000 instances, almost none of which actually ever happened, but whatever.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Community and Communitas with Mark Lefebvre.
Replica are angry people because they turned off the erotic role play and they made the app a little bit more, I don't know if it's PG-13 or NC-17. When I saw Replica, part of me really wanted to play with it. I wasn't going to give him any money. I'm too cheap for that. But part of me really wanted to play with it. But then another part of me is like, oh, don't even go down that. Don't even go there.